We're here to look at plays. How many plays? 5 plays. Let's look at plays today. Stick around. Greetings and welcome back to another episode of 5 Play Friday, show where we take a look at game video, analyze all of the things, take the positives, avoid the negatives, so we can all get better as basketball officials. Greetings, everyone. My name is Greg Austin with abetterofficial.com. We craft video to help basketball officials get better and take control of their officiating career. If you haven't, now would be a great time. Do all the things, hit like, subscribe, and notify so you don't miss out on any of our new content. You can always join us for the live stream. We film the show every Wednesday and Friday. Jump in the game, put your voice in the game, and we can all get better together. Before we get started, allow me to thank those who fuel our show, our tremendous show supporters. Les O'Connor Jr., Philip Go, Jimmy Salinas, Kamali Rowan, and Michael Roush. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show, there's always going to be one. A link down in the show notes below. Awesome. All right, today we are looking at some plays. We got a couple of backcourt plays to start, some other plays. So let's get started with our very first play. Let's take a look at our very first play. All right, so we have a backcourt scenario here, two-person mechanics, right, in transition. Get out of the way, ref. Our new lead sort of has that center position, but of course they are in transition, looking to, and they have players between them. Not ideal. Do we have a backcourt violation in this situation? Let's take a look. And then we can look at this first part of the play, which I didn't even realize was there. Why don't we start there? This player from the backcourt, we have a player in the front court there with front court status. Passes to a teammate. Hold on just a second. Let's improve my position on the play. Team control in the front court. Player from the backcourt jumps. Right? Official, obviously has a closed look on the play. Right? Does the player's foot contact the floor before the player contacts the basketball? Do we have any ability to make that judgment from that position? Right? No. Right? Points at the floor, confirms that I saw the play, etc. A good technique to have, in my opinion. I know I do. Right? So that's the very first part of this play. What would we want habits and fundamentals in this instance? Do I have high certainty that this is a backcourt play? Right? That this is a backcourt violation. I cannot tell from this camera angle or from the trail. You cannot tell whether the player contacted the ball first or whether their foot contacted the floor. If we have that mindset with plays that are really close like this, like you can get an out-of-bounds play where a player is jumping out of bounds and releasing a pass back. Does their foot hit before the pass is released? Right? If we go with certainty in those situations, we're better off. So this is the part of the play that I missed. Let's keep going. Working low as trail and two-person, right? Player with front court status jumps in the air, catches the ball, lands in the backcourt. This is a backcourt violation by rule. This is tough to get as the new lead with all those players in between. Tough to get as trail, right? If you are still close to the end line, this is just a tough play to get, but this is a backcourt violation by rule. So two possible violations on the same play. The first of which, no certainty, no call, which is a great approach. Uncertain, no call. Rather than trying to put things together and assume the timing seemed to be, etc. Something we could take away from that play is avoiding a reaction whistle on the play and recognizing that it was really close and we do not have definitive knowledge, right? And not putting a whistle on a play. If we can avoid reaction whistles in the game, we're better, right? And we're making decisions about what whistles to put on the game based on, the certainty, the open look, etc. If we start assuming, like that play I had in my game on Wednesday, where you realize I put a whistle on the play, did I have an open look? No, I didn't. I see. I realized the mistake in my ways. What do we need? More coffee. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. All right. A backcourt play to get started. How about another backcourt play? Let's look at play number 2. All right, backcourt violation ruled. A lot of chaos on this play. Right? If we look at the initial action near the division line, players are potentially playing the ball with their feet, right? There's chaos here, loose there, sort of a kicking motion, sort of a revert, like a soccer move there. Was it intentional, right? We're processing a lot of things. Ultimately, the player is on the floor, passes the ball towards the backcourt. Teammate in the backcourt with backcourt status jumps and catches the ball. The other variable on the play here is, was this ball deflected by number 1 White? When we're just there, did he flick the ball in the air, and would that have an effect on the play, on the ruling on the play? That's my first reaction, is that he did make contact, but is my certainty level high? No. So in the absence of a touch there, we would have a backcourt violation by rule. Does he get a foot down? Right? That's a question here as well. Let's take a look at that player from the backcourt. We definitely have team control on the court. The ball has front court status. Let's get to that point right here. Pass the ball to a teammate. Does he have the ball before the foot is down? I think he does. Right? He's caught the ball here, or he's contacted the ball at the least. Does he have to catch the ball in order to have a backcourt violation? No. It would be the first to touch with backcourt status there. That gives the ball backcourt status. Right? So, close play, a lot going on. We have that kicking action by the white player, inadvertent, right? Can't be sure that it was intentional. Does this kid travel, right? There's some movement on the floor. Is that traveling? No, it's not traveling. Backcourt violation is ruled. But so much going on, right? In the middle of the floor here in these chaotic situations, right? We really have a lot to evaluate. But this official is in fantastic position to make a ruling on the play. And we have a backcourt violation ruling. It also looks as though the trail had a hand up for the violation as well. But I like our centers putting a whistle on this play. Right. So a lot going on this play. A lot of chaos, a lot of potential foot action, player on the floor, oscillating on the floor, lots to process. Was the ball tipped by number one white? We're thinking all the things through, and then ultimately a player with backcourt status jumps and contacts the ball, whether they caught it or not, prior to landing in the front court. They cause the ball to gain backcourt status, and a violation is ruled on the play. Right? We have team control on the court. Right? Even though the ball is loose here, we still have team control blue. Team control has not been relinquished. Team control would end when the ball became dead, when they release a try for goal. These did not happen, or when white gains control. So even though the ball is loose, team control is in effect. And right here, if white contacted that basketball, then white would have been the last to touch in the front court, and we could not have a backcourt violation based on the subsequent play. So that's important part of the play here. But from our angle, we do not have the look. We could say our official here is officiating players on the floor, and so they're adopting a stance. Is this the best stance to have in this situation? I don't know. I would not adopt this. You know, if you're a baseball, softball umpire, maybe it's second nature. But that component of the play is worth looking at as well. If white contacts the ball here, prior, let's see, right about here. If white one contacts the ball right there, then we would not have a backcourt violation. All right, 2 backcourt plays. Let's now look at another video play. All right. Okay, so we have a breakaway. 2 officials on it. Ball is deflected by the defender. Subsequent contact. What kind of foul do we have in this situation? Right? New lead comes in indicating intentional foul. Let's take a look at all the things. Right? player makes a play on the basketball, then subsequently takes the player out underneath, also seems to have a pull down as well, right? So we have the illegal contact taking out the legs, and we have the subsequent action of the pull down as well. Right? And what are the other variables on the play? Is this dead ball contact or live ball contact? Is that even a thing on this play? Right? So let's take a look. Right? Gets the ball, takes the player out, legs with a pull down as well, right? So the only real question here is the status of the ball when the foul occurs, right? The ball is struck with force from behind. Has the ball become dead, being out of bounds? Would that affect things on this play? Looks like the ball is still live. It has not contacted out of bounds, right? So we would have, in this situation, an intentional foul. The penalty for an intentional foul is 2 free throws and the ball to the team. 2 free throws to the offended player or their eligible substitute, and the ball to the team at the spot nearest the foul. These are things that we would want to take care of at the point of the point of the foul, so we know what's going to happen next. Our 2 officials on this play get together, right, and we can discuss all of those things. The one question we have to answer is, was this live ball contact or dead ball contact? If the ball had contacted out of bounds prior to the illegal contact, then we would have a dead ball technical foul in this instance. And of course, the administration for that would be 2 free throws to any player or eligible substitute, and then the ball at the division line opposite the table. So we would have a different administration, but I don't think that's what we have on this play. The other factor we have here is, is this a player that is an intentional foul, or is this something that rises to the level of a flagrant foul? Was this violent or savage in nature, National Federation of High School Basketball Rules, or was this simply excessive contact, right? That's a judgment we have to make on this play. So if we look at that, though, if we had to do it over again, right? Maybe we move to the center moves to the lead a little too quickly, right? Our players haven't quite dispersed, right? So what we want to do in this situation is we're looking for retaliatory action. Does the player on the floor stand up or those 2 players have something to say, right? Or some reaction, right? Some negative reaction, didn't appreciate being fouled in that fashion. And then the other thing is the players coming in, because naturally players are going to come in this situation. Do teammates go to teammates, or do teammates go to opponents, right? So we want to have that awareness here. If we're looking at the original play, close down, really strong. We're in great position. Teammate from red goes to his teammate on the floor. We're all good there. But there's players who are in behind, right? We don't have a full picture, right? So maybe in this instance, we allow a little more dispersal before we come together, unless we think that I need to get my partner quickly because I have something on the play we need to discuss. We've always got to balance these things out, but maybe a little quick to get closer to the opponent or to the partner. Opponent. So when we look at the plays like this on video, those are the things we're taking away, those habits and fundamentals, awareness, right? Because one thing, if we allowed the dispersal, then we allow our trail official to come in and be a part of the play, and they can observe the players in this situation. When we look at plays, of course, we can look at all of the things, right? We can look at and then think, well, what if this, then this, then this? Then how would we adjudicate the play? differently, etc. It's a great way to have a fuller understanding of all the possible scenarios. And with that, we'll move on to our very next video. All right, so we have a loose ball scenario. So there's a couple of questions on this play. It's a loose ball scenario. We have a foul ruled. Was this a team control foul, or had possession been gained by the player on the floor? There's many aspects of this play as well that we can look at, habits and fundamentals of the officials. So let's do all of the things. All right. Does this player gain control of the ball prior to being fouled, prior to the foul being ruled? If we look, let's take a look. Right, that player has the ball in one, close to their feet, and then extends the ball. They are holding the ball. This has been a change of possession. There is no longer team control by white because player control has been gained by red. So in this instance, if we rule a foul, bonus free throws are appropriate. Let's look at the position of the crew on this play. Right, we're in a closed down position here as lead. I think if we were on the E here, we would have a better angle on the play. Officiating from the closed down position is not ideal as lead. If we are anticipating a rotation, then we go to close down, signaling to our crew a rotation may be imminent, etc. But ultimately, officiating from a closed down position is not ideal as lead. Right? So our player in red loses their balance as they are controlling the ball and falls to the floor. Have they traveled? That's a possible ruling on this play. And then there's contact. Does this rise to the level of a foul? That would be a question. Let's come back to that. A foul is ruled. The foul's on white 25. What happens next? Right? Our crew is a little confused about what happens next. Has our calling official been clear about the foul that we have, etc., so that we can better execute this? That's what we'd be looking at. I assume, based on the score, that Wisconsin plays two halves, and that this is second half action. But it could be second period in a high-scoring game. I'll need some help on that. But to me, the elephant in the room is, does this rise to the level of a foul? Right? If we are at 48-45 with a minute remaining, we want to have obvious contact. Does this play rise to the level of foul? In my judgment, I don't know. It does not. I would not put a whistle on this play. It seems like the red player moves under the white player who's going down. I don't see obvious displacement on this play. So I do not have this rising to the level of a foul, Ben. But if we're if we say, I don't have the ideal angle on this play, we have the camera angle. Maybe there was more displacement than it appears. But I don't know if I'd put a whistle on this play at this point of the game. But we need to be clear about what we have, right? The game is going to want to move down the court and administer bonus free throws. We've gone over this before. But we need to be clear about what we have on the play and what is going to happen next. And we want our crew, right? If we don't know that it's going to be bonus free throws, we want our crew to be aware, right? Our old trail is sort of moving to new lead. A player says, hey, we're shooting free throws, right? And that's a clue to her, right? We'd want our center official, if we are going to shoot bonus free throws there, or if it's clear, to step in and say, bonus, right? 2 free throws, we're going to the other end, etc. All right, let's look now at our next video play. All right, offensive foul ruled. What do we have on this play? So we have a double whistle, right? Lead comes a little ahead of the center official. We could discuss coverage of the play. We could discuss all of the things. Let's take a look at what we have on this play. Right? So this is nice action, offensive play here. Ball goes to the wing. Lead official, who was in a relatively closed down position, backs out, mirroring the ball with the outside shoulder. This is a good habit. Has that a post action. This is pretty sophisticated. So we have a post player who's posting up here. And then we have a subsequent player who slips in behind underneath. This is obviously a play that's designed. And the player on the weak side finds the next defender and boxes her out. Unfortunately, that's not legal. All right, so we have double whistle on the play. Lead takes it. Player came from the action came from the center's primary. A case could be made, hey, this call belongs to the center. But the lead, we know fundamentally as officials, right, that lead tends to move quickly, right? We have to recognize that as officials. If I'm working as center, I know my lead's going to come quick. That's why when we have a foul, we don't want to indicate what we have early, because leads tend to go quickly. So we have to have that awareness on this play. But in the end, we have a double whistle. We have a call correct. This is an offensive foul. This is illegal screening action by rule. And if we look at it more closely, good habit by the lead. Center stays engaged. Identify illegal contact. Double whistle. Lead takes it, as they are wont to do. Does the bird dog, indicating the player who fouled, which may be appropriate in this sort of confusion. There's potentially confusion on this play. A great opportunity to use the bird dog. And then we are going as calling official, offensive foul as lead. In many parts of the country, this is the mechanic. Go table side and report. In this instance, they would become the new C. All right. But a good get on this play. This is a foul by rule. This is illegal contact. Double whistle. You can make a case about maybe we want the center to take it. But in the end, the lead takes it. We go strong. We identify the fouler. We go and report and move on. I did not pick up on that second action. Are we talking about the post player who initially sets up? right? You see this kind of action also on throw-in plays, right? Throw-in plays, there's a lot of borderline illegal activity such as this, where what we're trying to do is take care of defenders and, you know, prevent them from defending somebody who's going to be ultimately open near the basket. But let's take a look at this secondary screening action. Right, so I assume we're talking 25 black. I don't know. I don't know if that's, I would describe that as illegal screening on that play, on that action. That player is attempting to position for a possible, receive a possible pass. I don't see it there, but I could understand why you would. Let's take a look at our next video. Where are we anyway? Hey, we've got time for a bonus play. Let's take a look. All right. Play was submitted by Janisch. But on this play, we're changing Chris's name to Clairvoyant. Reuses the crowd reaction to know that the ball went in without looking. Excellent. All right, so obvious foul on this play, right? So let's look at the important aspects of this play. Position, right? As center, ahead of the play, ball settles in the center's primary. Center picks up the primary matchup on this play. Let's watch our trail official who had the on-ball action, right? Does the trail official stay with that on-ball action? Something we'd want to avoid. If the center picks up this play, trail, we've got to release, find something else. We've got a defensive foul. Ultimately, the center changes position while the players are in the air, right? I think what I would say on that play is I think the second position was where we should have been to start, right? We think we have an open look here, but we can improve our look here by taking a step down. In high school, we see consistently that officials can be reluctant to work low as a C, but the look will always determine what our ultimate position is on the court. So ultimately, our center steps down when the players get closer together because that was the look. We have a foul on the play. Score the goal without confirmation because we didn't need it because the crowd erupted. Right? We're not necessarily moving quickly to the reporting area, but great use of the reporting area here, in my judgment. Right? Once we find the first part of the reporting area here, we can go. We're going to go table side. We know what's going to happen next. Players clear. Right? And we are at the outer edge of the reporting area. We don't have to run and stand in front of the table. I like this a lot. We do want communication with the table, and this involves clearly signaling, using our voice so that there's no confusion, right? Many would say, well, our mechanic is to stop and report, right? That's something we could improve on there. We don't see ultimately how it goes. But an obvious foul, whistle on the play, ball goes in, score the goal, report the foul, and move on. Hey, thanks for joining us today for 5 Play Friday. If this is the video content you find valuable, great time to do all the things. Hit like, subscribe, and notify so you don't miss out on any of our new content. Allow me a moment to thank our tremendous show supporters, Les O'Connor Jr., Philip Go, Jimmy Salinas, Kamali Rowan, and Michael Roush. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? There's going to be a link down in the show notes below. There's going to be a link above as well. Tremendous. We have additional video content available for you here. I have personally selected this video. YouTube says this is the one to watch. You make your choice. Choose wisely. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.